Assalamu alaikum. My name is Asra Khan with roll number BP1650044. I am member of group 33. The main topic of my presentation is adverse effects of drugs on the liver, and the subtopic which I am going to cover today is forms of drug-induced liver diseases. To understand the topic more carefully, we have to understand what drug-induced liver diseases are. So there are some liver diseases which induced because of some particular drugs. What are those drugs? Those drugs includes antibiotics, NSAIDs, anticonvulsants, and if any drug taken in larger amount, the larger amount than the recommended one, so it will cause hepatic disease. Why? Because we know that liver is responsible to metabolize the drug. So if we take a drug in the larger amount, so liver will take extra effort to metabolize that drug, and it will affect the normal physiology of the drug, and a person will may face liver disease. So for example, many different drugs can cause drug-induced hepatitis. Painkillers and fever reducers that contain acetaminophen are a common cause of a liver injury, particularly when taken in doses greater than those recommended. So, now there are two types of liver diseases, the acute one and the chronic one. How to differentiate between both of these classification of liver diseases? It is very simple. If the symptoms appear for less than 3 months, then it is acute disease, and if symptom appears more than 3 months, then it is classified as chronic disease. Here we have a case study in which Mr. V, a 39-year-old male, presented to his local hospital following a paracetamol overdose. He had recently separated from his wife, had not been eating properly, went on an alcohol, and then on impulse had taken approximately 70 paracetamol tablets. He self-referred himself to his local hospital 28 hours after the overdose. At presentation, he was feeling nauseous and had right subcostal pain. His result at this time were, this is his report, lab report. So his lab report is not fine. He has some elevated liver enzymes, elevated amount of liver enzyme. And the one thing which we have to notice here is that he start drinking alcohol. So he is not a chronic alcoholic, but an acute alcoholic. Because of the depression or the situation he is going through, he start taking alcohol. So he is classified as a acute alcoholic patient, not a chronic one. His other screenings are negative, like hepatitis screening is negative, autoantibody screening is negative, although the supportive treatment was given. However, he deteriorated with worsening test results and the development of encephalopathy. As compared to the previous one, his condition is worsening day by day. So he was then transferred to ICU with a diagnosis of acute liver failure. Secondary to paracetamol overdose, his test results on admission to the ICU were, it is his test report, and we have another line here that he was put on the liver transplant urgent list and received an orthotopic liver transplant OLT the following day. To solve this case, I prepared my soap notes, and before preparing soap notes, I write here the CC, that is chief complaint, and what I think the chief complaint is the paracetamol toxicity. So let's begin with soap notes. We have S here of soap, that is subject. So we have a mnemonic here, that is old card. It is better for physicians or pharmacists, or if anyone is taking history of the patient, then he can use this old card mnemonic so that he easily remember the question which he has to ask to the patient. So with O we have onset, that is when did the CC start. So in this case the CC start 28 hours ago, and the location is GIT. As the patient is not unconscious here, he told about his condition by himself. So and he's facing nausea. He is suffering from nausea and subcostal pain. The subcostal pain is the pain beneath the lower ribs, or both side of the lower ribs. Maybe sometimes at one side, and maybe sometimes on both sides. So duration of CC is 28 hours. And characterization. What is characterization? How does the patient describe the CC? It is the characterization. So as I told that the patient is not unconscious, so he told about his nausea and subcostal pain. Elevating factors. What are elevating factors? Does anything make the CC feel better or worse? Those are known as elevating factors. So here in the case of that, he mentioned that he is not eating properly and taking alcohol, so maybe it elevates his CC. Radiation is the CC is in a single location, or does it move? So toxicity, if he is suffering from paracetamol toxicity, then his radiation is toxicity is continuously spreading over in his body. So temporal pattern. What is temporal pattern? Temporal pattern is, does the CC occur at a specific period of time? So as we know that he is suffering from poison, so he is not suffering from a specific disease which occur after a particular time, like headache or other diseases which occur after a particular time. He is suffering from a toxicity, so after administration of the overdose, the temporal pattern starts. Severity, in paracetamol toxicity, we have 20 to 40% mortality rate. Here we have O of soap, and that means object. In object, we usually cover vital signs, but here the vital signs are not provided, so we can't cover those vital signs. Physical exam findings, laboratory data, imaging results, and other diagnostic data, review of the documentation of other clinics. So we have some lab reports here and few tests which we have already discussed while discussing the question. That is his hepatitis screening is negative, his autoantibody screening is negative, and he has an elevated result of some liver enzymes. Now we have A of SOAP, that is assessment. In assessment, we have to do diagnosis and we have to find the problems other than the CC. So we know that the CC is paracetamol poisoning, but because of the paracetamol poisoning, the drug induced liver disease occur, that is acute liver failure. This is how we connect our case to our subtopic, that is drug induced liver disease. Here the drug is paracetamol. The larger dose of the paracetamol cause acute liver failure, and that is acute hepatic necrosis, and he is also facing encephalopathy. Encephalopathy is not related to the liver, but the disease which is related to the liver is ALF. So after knowing the complete profile of the patient, we have to suggest him a plan which he has to follow. The plan in this particular case is that we are suggesting him to take an acetylcysteine. But the point to be noted here is that he is not taking an acetylcysteine as the counteracting drug of paracetamol, but he is taking an acetylcysteine as cytoprotective drug. What is the meaning of this sentence? We have to see the next slide to understand this point. Besides N-acetylcysteine, we are also giving him oxygen if necessary. Acetylcysteine. Immediately after 8 hours of paracetamol overdose, when the blood paracetamol level is in the range productive of possible or probable liver injury, moreover, late administration in patients who present more than 16 to 24 hours post ingestion is also appropriate. It is appropriate but not as effective as if we administered it at 8th hour of paracetamol overdosing. Acetylcysteine administered at this stage will not counteract the oxidative effect of paracetamol, but it may have cytoprotective role in hepatic failure, improving hemodynamics and oxygen use. Late administration of N-acetylcysteine has been shown to reduce morbidity and mortality in patients who have already developed hepatic failure. Available data for use of an acid assist in following paracetamol overdose suggests that although the evidence for benefit is limited, it should be given to patients with overdose. We had covered the case study and the choice of drug in this particular case, that is an acetylcysteine, and there is no need to change the dose. We have to stop the dose because it is not a simple case of adverse effect of a drug, but it is a case of toxicity of a drug. So in the case of toxicity, we have to stop the toxicant. So we have to stop the paracetamol even if the patient need the paracetamol. We will not go towards paracetamol. We will give him another substitute of it. Now the topic which is left is interaction of paracetamol. In this case, the interaction of paracetamol is with alcohol, but it is a positive interaction because alcohol and paracetamol both metabolize through CYP2E1. Because of this, they both compete for the enzyme, and because of this, NAPQI, that is a metabolic product of both alcohol and paracetamol, reduce in its quantity, and it is a toxic byproduct produced during the xenobiotic metabolism of an analgesic paracetamol acetaminophen. It is normally produced only in small amounts and then almost immediately detoxified in the liver. It is the normal cycle of NAPQI, which is also known as NAPQ and NAPBQI, and thus less toxicity. Chronic alcohol consumption induces the CYP2E1 enzymes, resulting in increased NAPQI production and increased risk of hepatotoxicity. It is not the case of chronic alcoholic patient. It is the case of acute alcoholic patient. That's why here it is working positively. This is it. Thank you.